Greetings everyone. In the last video you got to hear me ramble on about inexpensive chocolate and a few other things. Well, I just happened to get some heavily discounted Valentine's chocolate, and this one is related to the trolls. So this is going to be fun. This is going to be the inspiration for today's drawing. And let's see if we can get through this in such a way. Actually, I'm going to use maybe part of this as a reference. And rather than have the majority of it done with black ink, we're going to do this using the colors. Oh, that'll be good. This themselves to do the outlines of the character. Let's close that up. So let's see what we can come up with. What's that now, Neville? Okay, so I'll try to do this, keep it under 30 minutes, maybe even quicker. We'll see how it goes. All right, look at that. I've managed, it's one of those twin tip water soluble markers. This should be fun. But, well, actually let's just see if we can keep it here and we'll see how quickly we can do this. So I like to start off with a feature that I think is prominent. And in this case, it'll be the troll's nose. And that sort of centers everything else around the face for me. I want there to be a wonderful smile, and I don't know if we're going to go with a mouth opened or mouth closed or not. See if we can zoom in on this a little bit too. Okay. Now we'll keep the eyes sort of close together. Now I think there will only be a couple of moments, I suppose, or anyway, where I will use a black marker, and it'll be probably around the eyes here. But everything else we will highlight using the markers themselves. What's that, Neville? Well, it's only been 3 minutes so far. Okay. That's my timekeeper, in case you're wondering. And it may not be exactly like the character, but that's okay. And you'll see what I'm going to do here towards the end. Anyway. Now they have wonderful ears. That's fun. Let me do a simple headband, I think. And each thing I will try to use a separate marker for. Oop. We'll have the hair kind of come out of the headband just a little bit. Now it's funny, growing up, the trolls that I would be familiar with were mainly pencil toppers. And then you would kind of, well, you'd slick their hair into a point, and then you would spin, kind of like doing this kind of a thing, but anyway, with the pencil, and it would make their hair stick out. Beyond that, I don't know what else you were supposed to do with them. Now, before we go any further, here's the black marker that I'm going to use. I'm going to fill in the pupil with this. And we'll also use this as the eyelashes. It's okay that we can see the eyelashes through the hair. It doesn't have to be that way, but it's the way we're going to do it anyway. Nothing too serious. Maybe one of the few spots that I will use the black marker for. Now this is going to be awesome hair. Now we're going to do a little bit of hair just like this. I don't know what this style is called. Is this like a bouffant? Like a French awesome hairstyle? An updo? I don't know. Poppy, which is this character, I do believe she's a princess from what I can recall, and eventually somehow the leader of the trolls, or eventually something like that, I believe. I don't know for sure. I think it was something about that in the first movie. It's the only one of the troll movies that I've seen is the first one. Okay. Let's do a little bit of a neck here. Next, let us figure out the body. I have another marker, and we're going to go with a blue dress. Now, upper torso, lower torso. I don't mind that so much. Let's figure out how we're going to decorate this dress. So we're going first with stripes. And then let's go with loops. we'll have them kind of alternate. Like so. Okay, let's double up this line actually that runs between the loops. So when I'm done with the main part of the drawing, my plan will be to get out some water and a paintbrush, and we'll smooth out some of these lines just a little bit. Let's go back to the pink. You know, it would be interesting, I think, yes, just from the picture, has a bangle on. Well, let's, no, you know what? Let's go with a green bangle, just because I think that'd be a little bit more fun. Okay. We'll finish off this arm. And with this arm, let's have Poppy. Let's have Poppy looking at this chocolate. A little pinky out too, because that's funny. And here, let me hop back out for a moment. And we'll put in the chocolate heart. And the way this chocolate heart looks is it's kind of like striped. Like somehow they used some specialized drizzling technique. Whereas, truth be told, I do believe this whole thing is from a mold. And by mold, not things that are fouled in some way, but mold as in something that you can repeat a shape in over and over and over again. I'm sure that most of you know what that is. Mold in your refrigerator or by your windows, not so good either, mind you. These stripes almost look like a little bit what you'd see on, you know, Eddie Van Halen's guitar, which you can see me do a tribute of for a ukulele topper in another video. Anyway, so that's the chocolate heart held by Poppy. Okay. Next, we'll go back to pink, and they have legs that are made like bell bottoms in a way. To me, I don't know if that's really what the intention is. We'll go with the heel, big toe, 3 little toes to follow, and well, I don't know if I like those poses or those poses that much. So, because I'm the person with the pen, or the marker in this case, let's go with something different. Not too different, of course. Just a slightly different look. What's that, Neville? 16 minutes? Okay. That's my buddy Neville, keeping track of time for me. I think we could try putting some kind of socks or something. Okay, well, let's do that. We'll alternate colors too, just because I think that'd be fun. I have the footbed in blue, and then we'll go to blue here. Trolls don't have to wear shoes, of course. And another row of blue there. Now I've purposely chosen green to go as the alternating color for this, so I'll bring that out in a moment. And the green. I think those colors go very well together. I don't mind that at all. Let's zoom in on this dress here for a moment, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to add a little bit of color in these up loops that I put in before. That way the dress has some kind of contrasting, cool, awesome colors. Okay, and for fun, we'll get out the blue again, and we'll just put like a little, what's that now? Almost 20 minutes. Okay. So that I have a bit more water coloration that can happen when I bring out the brush and water. Now, I have a lighter pink, which I'll use to sort of fill in these areas of flesh where the skin is showing a little bit on Poppy. And that way I don't have to so dramatically put water to it. And this will all get smoothed out by the water anyway. Then the trick after is to use these same colors to highlight the drawing when it's done in the process that I'm going to use on it. We can add some shadow and all that other stuff. So that is not so bad. Okay, so now we're going to get out the brush and water and see what we can do with this. And I'm going to start with the face because that's where, when all is said and done, I'll be going back over to the details. So those markers, as I said, they are water soluble. And this is almost like you could do this to practice your watercolor techniques. What's that? Yeah, I know, Neville. Let me know as I get closer to, well, like I said, we're going to try to keep this under 30 minutes. So he's a good timekeeper. He doesn't know that's what he's doing, but that's what I'm using him for. He's a pretty cool cat. And he goes out of his way to make sure that I'm not alone when doing certain things. And if you have cats, you know this. And you see how that's sort of smoothing out a little bit with the scribbles of color that I put in there. I don't want the dress to bleed too much into it yet. I will do something with the dress too, which will take away some of the details. Let's get this part of the ear over here. And we'll take care of the hair soon as well, but I'm going to do most of the pink everywhere else first. And then I'll go to the hair. Then I'll do, I think, green. Or maybe even just, we'll take care of the chocolate, I think, actually. That'll be the next thing. Okay. So yeah, growing up, I was convinced that one of the most valuable markers for doing artwork was the black marker. And it is important, I suppose, but not as important as your ability to figure out whether or not you need to use the black marker. So I remember getting a black marker and then drawing a picture of a sun and then wanting to paint it after, and it just seemed to be way too much. Like I did each ray of the sun, and it looked outrageous. So in that case, I don't think I really needed the black marker. So I'm doing the hair. We'll go up here. Now watch these lines sort of merge a little bit. We'll get a little closer to the headband. So yes, I'm a big fan of bringing out a brush on drawings. Even with regular ink, I think it's a really fun way to fill in color. And as I said, you can use those same markers to go back in after and add more detail. Shadow and whatnot. Okay. Let's take care of this heart actually next. The chocolate heart? The discounted chocolate heart? Oh my. Again, the best time to get chocolate is after that, whatever holiday is over, because it tastes just as good. In fact, I would say it tastes even a little bit better knowing that you got it discounted. Okay, so we're going to go through the green here. And we'll let that sort of merge a little bit. With the blue line that's underneath it. So this sort of technique that I'm using, in a way, this is kind of why some people really enjoy using alcohol markers. In some way. I mean, it's not exactly the same. But you can blend with it and you can fill in areas, and it really lets the colors kind of smooth out. Now, I don't really use alcohol markers myself. I don't own any though. For myself, I primarily work in black and white. Just a preference for me anyway. And then you can color stuff after the fact if you have to take it to, like if it's going to print, it can be done after the fact. Same with like lettering and that sort of thing can be done in the computer. But I am capable of lettering, and often I do. But you can do it on like sticky notes. Well, not sticky notes, like separate pieces of paper, just in case you need to move stuff around or change the font or what have you. Now the last thing that I'm going to do here, now you probably missed out on seeing what I did with the legs, but actually let's work our way back up here. We'll do a little bit on this simple bandana. Next, we'll go to the dress, and we'll try to keep little droplets in there. So that it stays blue and not necessarily green. So that's kind of fun. Well, we are almost done, and we will end up being just a little over 30 minutes because I do want to go back and highlight a few areas. So, nice try, Neville. Blame my timekeeper for that. this is the process, people. We don't have to stay perfectly on time, although it's good too. Okay, we do a little bit over here. Smooth out the sides just a little bit. Okay, so that's not so bad. Now, we'll just do a couple of little quick highlights of sorts with the original markers that we'd used to draw the illustration. And it's with this that we will go back, add a little bit of shading. A little under the neck here as well, because the head would cast a little bit of a shadow. Little of the eyelids up here. Drop in a few more of these striations of hair. Just to add a little bit more detail of sorts. So that's kind of fun. We'll bring out the blue after, and we'll take care of the legs down here in a moment, but we're going to add these details back in of the chocolate with the drizzle banding, but not perfectly. That's not so bad. We got the blue here. We'll just do the edges of the sock. Just to take away some of that pink a little bit. Well, I think that's fun. A bit more of this green, and then we'll be pretty much done. So, you may not have seen me do the socks down there. Okay, I do believe, I'll back this out a little bit here, that will be it. I think that was fun. Well, it's just a bit more than a half an hour. These are fun too. Jelly roll. They have white ink, although this might be still a little wet. You can use this to put in like little highlights and lowlights for highlighting. And it can kind of blend certain things too. Anyway. All right, folks. That is it for now. I'll go to a mid-level if I can. Come on, technology. That's not so bad there. Well, after a little more than 35 minutes, this is what we got. Poppy, inspired by discounted chocolate. And yeah, that was fun. So thanks so much for hanging out with me. Feel free to drop by again. Subscribe if you like. And yeah, we'll do some other fun stuff here in the near future. All right. Until next time, have a great day.